Hey everybody, it's Doug Schauf with Remax Oceanside of Make Maine Your Home.com. On this episode of the Make Maine Your Home podcast, I'm going to see Joe Fournier at A&C Grocery. It's a little store over on the East End on Washington Ave, top of Fox. And when I moved to Maine, that area wasn't great. And it's really transformed into a cool location. And his store, I'm really excited to go see it. It's got great stuff in there and great food. He's an awesome guy. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll see he does all sorts of crazy videos. So I'm really excited to go see him. Try out some food and do some crazy stuff with them. You don't want to miss it. So let's do this. All right, guys, I made it over to A&C Grocery over on Washington Ave, 131.
131 Washington Ave.
There we go. Top of Fox, as they say. Hashtag top of Fox. Yeah. This is Joe Fournier. He's the owner of this establishment. Thanks for having me.
This is Doug.
This is Doug Schauf. So Joe, let's start off learning a little bit about you.
Sure.
Where are you from?
I grew up primarily on Munjoy Hill. I went to high school in Cape Elizabeth. And then, so I'm a Mainer.
Yeah. So growing up on Munjoy Hill, let's chat about that.
Okay.
Because people that are like moving here now probably don't understand what Munjoy Hill was back in the day. You know, when I moved here 25 years ago, it was a different place.
It was a very different place.
Yeah, what was it like growing up on Munjoy Hill?
Munjoy Hill was cool. You know, so the dynamic of Munjoy Hill was it wasn't on the way to anywhere. So it was kind of like this sort of isolated neighborhood.
Yeah.
A self-contained neighborhood. And there was like little stores like mine on so many different corners. It was before like, you know, Walmart and
right.
Whole Foods and all the big box stuff. So there were all these cool little Italian markets dotting every corner of Munjoy Hill.
That's awesome.
And you had the tailor, you had the laundromat, you had everything but a bank, basically, on Munjoy Hill.
Right here.
Yeah. So you didn't leave. It was a kind of a virtual island. So
as a kid in Munjoy Hill, which sounds awesome, was it kind of like a, hey, you know, were your parents like, hey, go ahead, you know, just stay on the hill? Or was it, did you have free reign?
Well, the geography of Munjoy Hill is you have Franklin Arterial, which created a virtual wall.
Right.
So you didn't go west of Franklin Arterial.
Right.
Everything was self-contained. It was good. And then there was parts where you didn't come down to Washington Avenue because you'd get beat up. You wouldn't go into Kennedy Park, which is now East Bay side, because you'd get beat up.
Right.
So you really stayed to your neighborhood.
Stayed where you were. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now, fast forwarding a little bit, you went to high school in Cape Elizabeth. What was that like?
It was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean,
that's funny since we both lived there.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because of the schools.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it was.
Was it because you moved over there?
It was different because Munjoy Hill had this reputation of, you know, of being this rough and tumble kind of place, and for me, it was just totally normal.
Right.
Going to Cape Elizabeth, where it's not rough and tumble at all. It was a culture shock, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Coming from Munjoy Hill, which is very blue collar at the time, very working class, to go to Cape Elizabeth, which was, you know, stay-at-home moms and, you know, all that other happy stuff. It was just culturally, it was very different.
Yeah, tough. Yeah. I could see that. What'd you do after high school? Did you go to college?
No, I moved to New York City, and I cooked there for 6 or 7 years. Almost 7 years.
So you got right into the food industry.
Well, you know, in Portland 20 years ago, there wasn't. You could cook at 4th Street. You could cook at Hugo's. You could cook at. There wasn't a lot of places to learn the craft.
Right.
And you didn't have Instagram.
True.
And the internet. You know, this is all like internet's just coming up, and you didn't have access to all the information that people do now. So you had to go to the big city. You had to go to Boston, New York, Chicago, LA to learn how to cook.
To learn that. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. Now people come here to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So there's been this huge shift, and that's ultimately why we came back.
Okay.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
You want to
Just popping in.
Great.
check it out? Just chopping. Okay, great. So you spent some time in New York City.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What was that like? Was that like where you started to learn?
I went there to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and also to make money. You make a lot of money.
Yeah, sure.
In New York. It was awesome. It was great. I had a time and place, and I was 20 years old and just kind of screwing around Portland. I was determined.
What an awesome time to be in New York City, right?
Yeah. Well, the first time I tried to leave, I went to LA, and I didn't have a driver's license, so that was a lot of buses and a lot of walking.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
So
then
you did make it out to LA?
I made it out to LA without a driver's license. I remember waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
And I waited and I waited and I waited for the bus. Bus finally came and it just went right by.
Wave as you go.
Right, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
So I ended up walking, like, it was like I was walking 3.5 miles to work and then 3.5 miles back home.
Oh my goodness.
And that I was able to do that for about, I think, 6 months, and I was just like, all right, I can't do this anymore. So I moved
Right.
back to Portland.
Too hard to make a living. Yeah.
It was a pain in the ass walking everywhere, and it's like it's a haul.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't drive because I grew up in Portland. You didn't need a license.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
get
no, you
Portland.
don't. Yeah.
And then my girlfriend, who's my wife now, was going to NYU, and so I was like, the hell with it. I'm just gonna go to New York and see how that works out.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
that worked out really well. I mean, New York I hated New York in the beginning, but it just grew on me
Right.
after a while.
Kind
It's
of
totally awesome.
does that too. How long did you stay there?
6 years. Then we moved to Boston.
Oh, nice.
We were in Boston for 3 years, well, Cambridge, and then I actually went back to New York for about a year to help some friends open a restaurant.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
in
nice.
Chinatown.
Right.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what
Helping. All right. Were you like part owner or just kind of
No,
there
it was
to
a manager-
guide them and let them go?
It was a management group that I had worked with before, and it just kind of worked out to go down and open up this restaurant
Right.
in New York. And then I went back to Boston, and then all this cool stuff was happening in Portland, and my wife and I were kind of like, what the hell, we might as well go give Portland a chance.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So, when roughly did you move back to Portland?
It was 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago.
Okay. Now, did you move right into Cape Elizabeth or?
No, we were on Munjoy Hill.
Oh, you were. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
we moved back to
that.
Munjoy Hill.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. We like a block away from where I grew. Actually, you could see the building that I spent many years of my childhood in. And then we moved again to Vesper Street, and you could see my first apartment when I was, the first apartment I got when I was 17 years old.
Right.
On Vesper. At that time, it was $600 a month, 3 bedrooms, back porch, huge
Jeez.
storage area, dining room, living room, kitchen. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All for $600.
$600.
Yeah.
You get on the porch, you could see the ocean.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's probably at least like quadrupled since then.
At least.
At
I think
least.
because the apartment, the 2-bedroom we had across the street was already triple what I paid in 19. That was 1997, I think, when my first apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was already there. And that was 10 years ago.
Right.
I have no idea what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, we joked that we got priced off to Munjoy Hill and had to slum it in Cape Elizabeth.
yeah, that's funny. So yeah, going to Cape Elizabeth. What got you over there? Joe and I are neighbors. Actually, we live in the same neighborhood.
We live in probably the best neighborhood in Cape Elizabeth.
Totally agree. That's awesome. And there's tons of kids there. It's fantastic.
So many kids.
Right. We're both really lucked out on that.
What? I mean, that was
Yeah.
I mean, we totally lucked out, and really yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's other neighborhoods almost as cool as the one that
Right.
we live in.
But
And I'm in a tier below because you're on Bayberry and I'm.
you're like the street over.
Yeah.
But still, you got that pass.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So.
We live in the old folks community.
Yeah, the old side. That's funny. Well, I mean,
Cape
like,
Elizabeth was I don't know.
Like we moved there because we had kids and there was the school system.
It was kids.
You know.
We had kids and there was a school system. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law are 6 minutes away towards Two Lights.
Sweet. Yeah.
And my mother-in-law has always taken care of the girls.
Instant babysitters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like she's kind of she's for all intents and purposes like a third parent.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's always been there. She would drive into Portland and pick up the girls and take them to Ledgmere, which was in Cape Elizabeth. So we were kind of, destined for Cape.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, because she lived there. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. So obviously married, 2 kids. Let's start talking about your professional career here. So you were a cook in New York City and like kind of always been in the food industry, it sounds. What got you to this store, to opening this? Like, what'd you do right before it? How did this come about?
I wanted to open this store in either South Portland or Cape Elizabeth to begin with.
Okay.
Then I got involved with my former business partners because they wanted to do something in South Portland or Cape Elizabeth, and we decided it would be a good idea to collaborate and kind of keep the fragmentation of the market, try to avoid that part.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like instead of competing with each other, we could work together.
Right.
And that was a great idea. But then eventually we decided to stop doing that.
Stop doing it. Yeah.
And so I took.
Decided to part ways.
We decided to part ways. Yeah.
Was that okay? Or was it a little bit of
No,
a...
it sucked.
Okay.
It was the first time.
Was it a big fight, or
Nah, it wasn't a big fight. I mean,
Okay.
it was pretty much it was the first time I've ever called a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I
hate when that
I was
happens.
a grown up.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And even more of a grown up when I got the bill.
Yeah, right.
But it was fine. Yeah, and this is what I wanted to do all along.
Okay.
Like I wanted to have a small little, like old school mom and pop shop where it served the community, and it's kind of like, I think I really wanted to be back in Portland. Just
Okay.
because there's
is your
competition.
roots. Yeah.
Kinda. It's my roots, but there's also like there's tons of cool stuff. I mean, like there's super talented people in Portland, and there's
Right.
there's no opportunity to really kind of rest on your laurels and get complacent.
Right.
Like I'm an Aries, so I like a little fire under my ass.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. When's
yeah.
your birthday?
The 2nd.
April?
Yeah.
No, I'm the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is why we
Right, that's why we get along.
The best sign in the whole zodiac.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Get things done.
Fuego. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Whether or not people hate us or not.
Yeah, you never know. So this store though, like when you,
This is what I
vision?
had planned.
Yeah, what was this is what you had planned?
This was everything I had planned for what I wanted to do.
Yeah, talk to me about that. What was the vision? What do you see this? And is it to the level now where you wanted it to be, or do you still got more to go? That was a lot of questions all in one. Let's start from the beginning.
There are days where it's everything that I wanted it to be. There's other days where it's a colossal pain in the ass.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, like
any small business is. Yeah.
Sure, and then like having the chronic road work. Like I've literally had. I've been under construction. I've been open for almost 2 years. I've been under construction for almost the whole time.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that because your social media feed is awesome. And if anybody's not following you, they need to follow you right away.
At A&C Grocery on Instagram is best.
Yeah.
Video
Was
with
it
the
at
sound
A&C
on.
Grocery?
Yeah.
So
Facebook too.
Yeah.
But Instagram's where it's at.
So, I mean, the stuff I see you doing on there is hilarious. Like, do you go and talk to the road construction guys and say, "Hey, can I do this?"
we have a
or are you
great
just jumping in
relationship.
holes?
No,
because I've seen holes.
So the whole story is awesome because so basically I pulled in one day.
Yeah.
And there's a hole right there in my entryway.
Nice.
Like a 10-foot hole. Make sure I get that right.
Yeah. You got
and instead of the first reaction was like lots of swear words. There's no warning that I'd have this
That
hole.
they're gonna do.
I mean, literally right in my front door.
It was literally right
You
there.
can see the bricks.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. Luckily, I have a rear door. People can come in.
Right.
Which produced lots of jokes on Instagram as well.
Of course.
And so the guys are working in the hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to go down there and take a picture. Like one of you guys, like, you can't do that.
Right. They make you sign a waiver.
No, they flat out told me I could not get into the hole, and I said to them, I said, at some point you're going to take a lunch break.
Okay, you just told them flat out.
Right.
You're coming.
and I'm going in the hole, and I'm getting the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, fine, you got to wear a hard hat, put on a vest, and you can only go 4 feet into the hole.
Okay.
And
They have stairs going down or something?
well, it was like
Oh, they had like a ladder or whatever.
there was a ladder.
Yeah.
There was different tiers of the hole.
Right.
So yeah, they relented.
Right.
And the post was Whole Foods Market, except without the W.
Right. That's really funny. Yeah, and I mean, you're always doing stuff with like their signs.
Oh,
all that
absolutely.
kind of stuff.
And they all know me, and I actually tagged all of the, well, like half of the construction equipment
Oh, you did. Oh,
this
they
fall
must
with
get a kick out of that.
A&C Construction Company.
Yeah.
And then the steamroller went all the way up and down Washington Avenue with A&C Construction Company
Oh, I love
on the
it.
back of it.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
I mean, what am I going to do?
Well, you gotta have fun with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, did that hole like really hurt the business for a while? Or?
No, actually, it was a great day because I think people felt bad for me. So they came in and got
Yeah,
lunch.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guilt is a useless emotion unless you use it to get something you want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, you've done a great job. I mean, with just rolling with it. Yeah, that's
It's been a
awesome.
pain in the ass. Yeah, but
Oh, I
what am I
bet.
going to do?
Oh, I bet.
I can't complain about it because it's got to get done,
Right.
and eventually everything's going to be better.
Yeah. What's the just a quick side note? What's going to happen in the future here with this? They got to pave this next year.
They're repaving, they're redoing all the sidewalks, they're bumping out the sidewalks, kind of like what they've done on Cumberland Avenue between Franklin and State.
Like okay.
So the traffic will slow down,
Oh, good.
which is a really big deal because people use this as a pass through to 295.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they do, it's like 50, 55 miles an hour down Washington Avenue.
Yes.
When there's no construction.
Yeah.
Like 295 is going to disappear.
Oh yeah. When I used to live down here, I mean, I used to start getting on the 295 like from back there.
Right.
Of course, you're going. 70.
Oh yeah.
You're going
Yeah.
70 by the
well,
time
you got to make up for the speed, right?
Yeah. Now, real quick, this area though, to me is amazing. Down here on Washington Ave.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I was living down here, I mean, this was nothing. You had the old
was a
bread
dump.
factory.
Yeah.
It was kind of a dump.
JJ Nissen's, yeah.
Yeah, and I was amazed. This summer, me and my wife came out, and like you gave us some recommendations.
Right.
of
You
where
guys
to go.
canoed over. Yeah. Which I thought was great.
Yeah, and it was awesome. So, what do you think's going to happen more with this location? You think it's just
It's changing so much. It changes month to month. I've never seen anything like it. Hi. How are you?
She want to come down and talk?
Oh, that Jen doesn't want to have anything to do with this.
That's on tape,
That's right. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Oh, go ahead.
All right.
Somebody else coming in.
Scallywag.
What's happening?
How are you doing, buddy?
Okay.
Well,
Friends.
Everyone's friends.
just walking up. Is this radio session? Are we live right now?
It
Is
is,
this
yeah.
the news?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet.
Yeah.
Ted McInerney.
Hey.
Hey,
The neighbor, Sam. Nice
Oh,
to meet
nice.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Chief meteorologist for WMTW.
Man, Joe, you know everybody.
It's freaking cold out.
It always sounds good. Oh yeah, it's gonna bother you for an Italian, but
I'll do it in Italian.
No, yeah, please, go ahead.
Can walk around and look at your beer selection for a minute.
So let's chat about the store. A&C Grocery. It's named after your girls.
Yep.
That's great. Tell me about what's in the store. I mean, I'm looking around. You got beer, wine.
Yeah, I mean, it's focused towards the neighborhood, and I've had almost 2 years to figure out what the neighborhood wants, and that's beer and wine and sandwiches.
Right.
And so that's a lot of what we do. I'll always sell Cheerios. I'll always sell toilet paper, staples. I sell a lot of produce, milk, eggs.
Yeah.
But
Where do you get all this stuff? I mean, do you try to get it locally? Or
yeah, so all the milk's coming from a small dairy farm in Dayton, Maine. The eggs are coming from Pittston, all pasture-raised pasture run hens.
Oh, nice.
I mean, like the eggs I just put away were laid probably about 4 days ago.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, maybe not even
Good.
3 days ago. Today's Friday. Yeah, so 3 days ago.
Right.
So super fresh.
So that's your thing, like fresh, local,
Fresh,
as
local.
much as you can.
Yeah, well, I mean, local's such a buzzword, and I'm reluctant to really latch onto that because I mean, all the best stuff is coming locally when it's in season, right?
Sure. Yeah. I
And
understand.
yeah, so yeah, the local thing is I'm reluctant to like throw local out there.
Right.
I buy from farmers and all this other stuff because I always have, and it shouldn't be a novelty. It should be the way we shop every day. We should be buying local.
Yeah.
We should be buying what's in season. So yeah, I just don't slap it on everything.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Now you also have a deli, make sandwiches.
Make lots of.
I've seen
sandwiches.
pictures on your Instagram of the real Italian. That looks awesome.
It's the original famous real Italian.
Okay. Right.
I invented it.
You invented the original real Italian.
The famous original real Italian. It's all semantics.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
What's your biggest seller on the menu? I got the menu right here.
The famous real.
Which is awesome.
Is it the famous real? How's it written on there?
How's it written?
Yeah, the famous
no,
original real
the
Italian.
famous original
Yeah,
real.
a real Italian.
Real Italian. Okay, great. I like that.
There's
Is that
nothing.
the biggest seller? Or what?
It's the biggest seller.
It is, okay, good. Yeah.
And you can find it. You can find it at Austin Street on Tuesday, Oxbow eventually on Monday, 7 days a week at Root Wild, which is next door, down at the Portland Zoo, which is a bar on Fox Street.
Oh, wow.
Every day. So yeah,
So you're supplying sandwiches to a lot of other places.
yeah, and doing pop-ups with the tricycle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
With Miss Foxtrotter.
The
Yeah.
tricycle. Tell me about the tricycle.
Tricycle was Austin Street approached me about doing an Italian pop-up sandwich shop in their new brewery.
Okay.
And it had to be Austin, so I had a friend basically weld a BMX bike and a metal frame.
Right.
We painted it Ferrari red.
Okay.
And then paneled it around with wood panels, and we make Italian sandwiches. And it's mobile, as long as it's a straight line. And we don't need brakes.
Now I've seen it on your feed.
Yes.
You're riding that bike. You were telling me you went backwards or something like that. Tell me about that experience.
So it was scary.
I bet.
I wanted to look like I could climb Fox Street, which is the second steepest hill in Portland, second only to Walnut.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I had someone film me rolling backwards down the hill. And mind you, it has no brakes, and it doesn't steer.
Right. Yeah.
So that when I flipped it and reversed it, it looked like I was just chugging up Fox Street, no problem.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do
Look
that.
like you're in wicked good shape.
Yeah, I am in great shape. I'm cut like a diamond. I'm wearing a fat suit right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. So that film was
I'm in
actually
great
you
shape.
going backwards. You are.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Just backwards.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. So awesome. We're also trying out some.
This is Capicola. This is some homemade stuff.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
It's terrible.
Yeah. If you think so,
Capicola's
I'll eat it. I'll eat it all then.
It's just it's one of the things I have on the Italian
This is
sandwich
so delicious, though.
with mortadella and finocchio and salami.
Yeah.
But this is actually like homemade capicola from a very talented cook from here in Portland.
Oh my God.
That's the cool thing about being where I'm at is like, those hamburgers that I made for a restaurant, for a couple that owns a restaurant down the street.
Right.
This is made by one of the best cooks in Portland.
Yeah.
And it's just this awesome crossroads of talent and really good food and conversation and goofing off, most importantly.
Yeah. Most important. Awesome. Well, great, man. That was it's a good place to stop.
Thanks, man.
Anything else? Website?
Instagram is where it's at.
Instagram is at. So and that's at
A&C Grocery.
A&C Grocery. There you go.
It's backwards, but whatever.
Perfect. All right, check them out. Follow them. His feeds are awesome. You'll love it. And most importantly, come to the shop. It's great. Have a sandwich. Buy some beer and wine. It's a great store. Check it out. 131 Washington Ave. It won't disappoint. Portland, Maine.
Not Cape Elizabeth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in Portland. Yeah.
We're in Portland. Are we?
We're still here.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, you keep on asking me. You don't know where we are. We're right here. We've been here the whole time.
We're in a 10-foot hall right out front.
Right. Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But not that Whole Foods.
No.
This Whole Foods.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. The real Italian.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the original.
The original? No, the famous
original.
Real Italian. Thanks, guys.